obviously, like girls in the past, we haven't, well, personally, and I feel like 99% of girls haven't even really taken into account our hormone cycles and our fluctuation in our hormones throughout the month. And I remember before I kind of knew what I know now, I used to think I would like literally lose my fitness over a week. So I might do a really solid session one week, and then the next week I might be struggling through a session, and I will mentally be like, "What is wrong with me? What has happened? I've lost my fitness. I'm like bloated. I don't feel good." But we never really connected the dots that it's going to be your hormones fluctuating and what effect those hormones can have on you. And so your hormones just play such a massive part into how not only how you recover between sessions, but also how hard you can push yourself in sessions. So for the first 2 weeks of the cycle, so everyone has a different cycle, but for a very normal cycle, which is about that 28 to 30-day cycle, the first 2 weeks we're in what we call our follicular phase. And this is when our hormones are going to be at their lowest. So think about it, when our hormones are at their lowest, that's when females are most like a male in terms of hormones. And so when our hormones are at our lowest, that's when we're going to really be able to push our bodies to those high intensities, do a lot of VO2 work, and really kind of smash through those really fast, quick sessions with quite short recoveries. Example would be, say, 6 to 8 by a K off 60 seconds or 90 seconds recovery. So once you kind of be able to push yourself through those hard sessions in that follicular phase, so days 1 to 14, you're actually going to be able to recover faster through those sessions as well. So you might be able to back up sessions, 2 or 3 sessions a week. I usually would only do 1 to 2 sessions a week, but I know some people do about 3. You're going to be able to, because you're going to be able to recover quicker between those sessions, you can kind of load up that higher intensity stuff through the first 2 weeks of your cycle. Whereas when we look at the back end of our cycle, so going into our luteal phase, so that's days 15 to 28, that's when our hormones start to really increase. So our estrogen and our progesterone are going to be increasing throughout those 2 weeks. And as we start to increase those hormones, our body goes into a state of like inflammation. So we're getting prepared to kind of go through into our menstrual cycle, so start bleeding back on that day 1. But before you get to that cycle, your ovaries, your body is inflamed. You are reacting to that cycle. So when those hormones are at their highest, your body isn't going to be able to recover as quickly because your body is looking after yourself in every other way. So through that time, you really want to manipulate your training and pull back the intensity. This is kind of when I focus more on load. So I might think about trying to up my Ks slightly, but pull back any of that VO2 work or threshold work. So I may go out and do some up-tempo work, which isn't, smashing myself. It might be a 30 to 40-minute marathon pace, which should feel relatively comfortable, but I won't be going and doing short, fast reps throughout those 2 weeks. And yeah, because you can't recover as quickly, you might only want to pull back to maybe 1 tempo session a week versus doing 2 or 3, VO2 sessions. So if you can really manipulate your training to fit around your cycle, your body's going to be able to adapt and recover better. You're going to be able to progress your fitness better. There's even things that you can do with your strength work and getting into the gym and lifting heavier weights in those first 2 weeks and then pulling back the weights in the second 2 weeks. So understanding we're always going to want to be progressing and getting ourselves fitter and stronger. But even just that, the week before your period, so I'd say days 21 to 28, if you're going to the gym, focus on your form, focus on the way you move. If you can really tap into that way of exercise through that week, by the time you come back to day 1 and you're going to start pushing the intensity again, you should have really nailed the way that you're moving and the function of your body. And then you can actually hopefully be able to lift better and lift heavier and get more out of the gym work that you're doing. Also in that last week before your period, it's usually when most girls, because our muscles become a little bit more relaxed, our joints, our mobility opens up a little bit more. It's when we're least coordinated. So if we can really focus on our form during that week, it's going to be harder, but we'll actually get more out of it. So not only can you adapt your training and manipulate your running training to your cycle, you can actually manipulate your strength work and your gym work, and you can also focus on your nutrition and different foods that you should be eating throughout the cycle as well. So and taking all of that into account, it's the reason I'm starting which is a female-focused coaching company, and we're going to be working with girls that are purely training to their cycle. So understanding everybody is different. Everyone has a different cycle. Some girls may be on the OCP or oral contraception, which will manipulate and change their cycle as well. So we're going to take all of that into account when we're working with these athletes. So it's going to be very personalized, very specific to the girls that we work with. And we'll be having conversations with these girls probably nearly every day to make sure that the training that we are prescribing to the athletes is very specific to their hormones, to their menstrual cycle, and to their physiology. So, yeah, I think, and I truly believe that if we can get the keys right, if we can kind of get this training right, I am super excited by it, because I feel that the female potential as an athlete has not been tapped into yet. I feel like even the best in the world, probably we haven't quite reached it yet, because we haven't kind of brought these theories and the ideas of training to cycles into play. So yeah, it's an exciting space, and I'm just like so pumped to see what's going to come out of it.